these two going back and forth. You have a prominent Christian Zionist Nikki Haley versus child of immigrants billionaire Vivek Ramaswamy, who we're going to go into a little bit of the controversy that is claimed about how he made his billions. Imagine a billionaire politician who's not a politician by his own name might be a snake. Personally, I don't trust anyone who has this kind of shaky mannerisms. I don't know how people aren't able to see through that. There a little back and forth about foreign policy.
Lockheed and Raytheon.
You know, I'm not
but the fact of the matter,
and Raytheon. And you know,
Boeing came off
the
lie.
stage.
You've been all week,
You want
Nikki.
to go and defund Israel? You want to
address that.
China?
I'm glad you brought that up.
Go and give
I'm going to address each of those right now. The false lies of a professional. There you have.
So the reality is, America less than you have no foreign policy experience, and it shows.
And you know what? The foreign policy experience that you all have shows in the pointless wars.
So there's an interesting thing that I know when it comes to foreigners coming to the country and swearing a whole lot. The Indians do it in a very, very specific way where it's like they don't really understand the flow of conversation.
They just use the word every once in a while.
Yeah. It's basically this meme here basically summed it up. You are the fucking fuck you, bloody bastard, bitch. I am not the fucking. You are the fucking, and that's basically what I just
You are the fucking.
It's like you don't really have a sentence with end the words the wrong way, and once again we're trying to figure out who's going to run the nation of America, and you got two Indians yelling at each other. One is Christian Zionist, and the other one is like the Tim Pool endorsed libertarian conservative type, whatever. The interesting thing about this guy, besides the fact that he rapped to Eminem, which we're going to show you in a little bit, is from what I gather, is he created a company that bought a drug from I forget what it was called. GSK. There's a huge $1 billion company called GSK that he bought a drug from an Alzheimer's drug. And here we go. The company owned by former hedge fund manager Vivek Ramaswamy. So if there's anyone as trustworthy as politicians, they're hedge fund managers.
Exactly.
An unnamed dementia drug. The same drug that pharmaceutical giant GlaxoSmithKline, we'll call it GSK from now on, as other people do. They gave up on testing it after years of testing, spending money testing on it. After dropping the $5 million drug, which Glasgow referred to simply as SB 7424.
57, yeah.
We won't be saying that number again. This company now has a market value approaching $3 billion, and what I gather from it is they basically like reimagined what the testing was. They did testing and reported on it differently because you basically just took the pill, bought it for $5 million, and now his company is worth $3 billion. And this was back in 2015. And my understanding is he owns 10% of either this company or another. But he has a hedge fund manager who buys into huge big pharma company. We think we have a great drug candidate. Ramaswamy told Forbes, if this drug is approved, we think it's going to make a huge difference for a lot of patients. And this was back in 2015. So that's
that company must not have got one of the federal contracts to make vaccines. That's the biggest growing thing right now in the United States because all these boomers are hitting that age, and they're all going to start showing signs of it. Basically,
here's another one. This one's from 23. This one is from a month and a half ago. Another pharmaceutical company founded by Vivek Ramaswamy is in talks to sell an experimental drug in a deal that could be valued at more than $7 billion. Korean scientists, which Ramaswamy started in 2014. Last article was from 2015. his work to commercialize drugs held up in development by acquiring them and creating subsidiaries to develop them. So creating companies to develop drugs that are purchased and held up by development. Even though the other company did years of testing on the other one. Roivant secured the rights an in-trial medication that can treat debilitating stomach diseases like Crohn's. So he's basically a
snake oil salesman.
What was Irv called? Billionaire mobster back home. Oh, liquidator. He's like a liquidator. Yeah, is that what this is? Is this like liquidating company kind of thing?
He's the snake oil salesman. You know, he's got a drug that one company said it's not worth testing anymore. Takes the same drug, nothing changed about it.
A company
re-advertised it differently, and sells billions
that have been around, that are very credited, many of them are very credited, and then he literally creates a company
to sell this drug.
Yeah,
you know, and all he did was, from what I understand, is he had a better advertising campaign. And that's the thing that's bothered me for a long time, is that I don't know how drug manufacturers are allowed to advertise their drugs on TV.
Yeah, and I think in like the UK and Europe, I don't know for Europe as a whole, but I don't think they're allowed to do that. But America, we definitely have.
Oh my God! Here's this boner pill, and here's this, heart pill, and here's this, constipation pill, and it's everything. Go to your doctor, ask for this. Well, the doctors are going to go, sure, go ahead, take it. I get my pay. I'm not pushing anything, but you asked for it, so here you go. And unless it's something that that actually has harm. I read in there that it has no known side effects, which means it really doesn't do anything. But if you can get people to take it, I guess they can. Your brain will heal somewhat on its own, anyways. I mean, that's kind of what your body does.
Man, get a lot of money. And you're able to make a lot of money and you're able to run for politics, and there is a way to do it. But when we're coming off, and 2020 was so focused on politics, the election, and pharmaceutical companies, you don't get to just automatically walk in and everyone's going to be like, you're the good guy.
Literally the three things that we were told never to believe: big pharmaceutical companies, the elections, and politicians. And now everybody believes in big pharmaceutical companies, the elections, and politicians. They did a great job of hypnotizing half the country. Half of the country said, fuck you. We're not going to let you do that. Half.
Almost half.
Almost half. And the thing that really bothers me is that, they go after people's heartstrings. I mean, when you got a drug manufacturer that's, got this pill that you take for cancer, and, grandma has cancer, of course she's going to get this pill because the company says it does this. You're not going to say, no, grandma, don't take that because I don't trust this company. No, grandma's going to go, I want to take this pill because I might live a little longer. And now they're going after Alzheimer's, which is like one of the number one leading diseases right now among the baby boomers.
Yeah.
And the instances of dementia aren't any higher than they were back in the early 1900s. The population is just that much bigger. That instead of 1 out of 100, there's still 1 out of 100, but now there's 1 million people. So now you got 100,000 out of 1 million.
They're called baby boomers because there was a baby boom.
There was. There was. And we're all there right now. We're all spending our kids' inheritance.
Yeah. Well, you're not. So that's
no.
Props to you, but that is the overall consensus.
This guy's he looks smarmy.
Shawarma-smarmy. There we go.
Yeah, Shawarma-smarmy. He does. He looks like the guy that you wouldn't trust at all.
Is shawarma Middle Eastern or Indian food? I don't know what it is.
It's got to be Indian.
We're gonna go with it anyway because it sounds good. Before he was an upstart candidate for president and a philosophical leader, where he dubs the anti-woke movement. What the fuck? So 2020.
Wait. He's a rap artist.
We're getting to it. We're getting into it.
Seriously.
This is some weird thing. He's a philosophical leader of what he calls the anti-woke movement. Has anyone heard of this philosophical leader? Like, I feel like we would all know of the philosophical leader of the anti-woke movement.
Especially us anti-woke people.
Years. Yeah, for going on for over 10 years, especially if he's a best-selling author and wealthy entrepreneur. So undergrad at Harvard, he had a side hustle. As a this is how you get the kids. This is how you get the kids. You become a libertarian-minded rap artist who goes by the stage name Vivek. What in the Bollywood Saturday Night Live bullshit is this? The gig was an early sign of extroverted, self-assured personality that has propelled him further in the primary than virtually anyone expected. I saw myself honestly making it big through American capitalism, and that's why the Eminem story stood out to him or spoke to him. I guess Eminem has now said, "Don't have this man rap my music." There's an article about that. We'll just pull up in a second. Is this supposed to be cool? Is this what the kids consider cool nowadays?
I don't know.
Harvard billionaire Vivek, Indian rapper Vivek, Indian libertarian drug dealer, drug reseller, repackager Vivek.
Libertarian rapper.
No?
Explain that, Mr. Shawarma-smarmy.
Well, look, the things they're digging up, they're going deep. And I have to say, some of these opposition research stories are false, but I will confirm that one is true. I was a little bit of a libertarian freestyler in college and had some fun with it.
Do you remember any of that rapper? Do you have some freestyling to do today, Vivek?
But it's not like a kind of thing, right? You just say what you're inspired to say. So, I like, that's kind of what I'm doing in the campaign trail in some sense, is freestyling my message.
All right, very good. Go ahead.
You want to join us on the campaign trail? You want to join us on the campaign trail? You can do that. I often open up. I say, my name's Vivek. It rhymes with cake. It ain't about thee. It isn't about me. It is about thee. The United States is about liberty. So Fox and friends, join us on the trail. We'll have some fun. I'll see you out the trail.
I think he just rhymed trail with trail. That is that's who a lot of young people want to be president. Once again, we are apparently they're saying that's where he gets some of his confidence from. Unfortunately for him, we have the video of him rapping in Eminem in college.
You had one shot, one opportunity to lose yourself. The moment you own it, you better let it go. You only get one shot. You not because you can't blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. You better lose yourself into the music. The moment you own it, you better never let it go. You only get one shot. You not because your chance to blow.
Yeah, don't quit your day job.
No.
Also, don't run for president, and also
Just go away.
just go away, man.
Please, just go away.
That same guy, also this guy.
Today, Ukraine is not a priority for the United States of America. And I think that the same people who took us into the Iraq War, the same people who took us into the Vietnam War, you cannot start another no-win war. And I do not want to get to the point where we're sending our military resources abroad when we could be better using them here at home to protect our own borders,
I want to play the funny clip of this guy.
Shit, I didn't realize there was that much stuff on him. Apparently, there's a lot.
Let's see, maybe it's this one.
So for question that is on everybody's mind at home tonight, who the heck is this skinny guy with a funny last name, and what the heck is he doing in the middle of this debate stage?
Okay, I understand that there's an appeal of having a president candidate who isn't a politician and is a businessman. Here's the difference, though, man. There's this first off asterisk, the little A in the encyclopedia that you have to click to figure out what the person's talking about before everything else. This is the this for that. There's this thing about Indians who come to America and make a ton of money, and for I think a big part of that about why there's a push for putting them on top of middle management in some top positions of companies is I think the only reason that's really being allowed is there's a corporate culture within the establishment and aligned establishment that they just don't trust the Han Chinese because they're really good at just working together and pushing everyone else out. And for whatever reason, we don't view the Indians as a threat. There's probably something to that. The second part, the main part of that, is there also is a thing about them where if you, not necessarily this guy, he doesn't have it fully, but if you didn't have any visual to it and you listen to some well-to-do dudes who end up being politicians or whatever, it isn't overly, it's not even white man sounding. It's just generic male voice, generic American male voice one. You know what I mean? It's
newscaster, news anchor sounding.
Yeah.
There's no accents. There's no nothing. There's just.
You don't expect them to come up talking about all of the things that he went through and how he had to go home and milk the cow or whatever. Like,
yeah, we send rocket to moon.
Yes, we worship cow on moon. I don't know if that's Russian. That might have been Russian.
It might have been. That's close to Russia.
Russian would be we we eat the cow on the moon. No,
we eat the cow. In India, they savor they worship the cow.
What do you have to do? The bubble light? We worship the cow on the moon. That's it. Nailed it. But there's this guy. Yeah. And it's there's over enunciation, and it's just overly performance. And this guy's exactly what you just said. The smarmy, swarmy, snaky, Vivek businessman, salesman before businessman. The thing is, we knew Trump was a businessman. We knew Trump was a salesman. We also knew that he loved McDonald's, chicks with huge tits, money, gold stuff with his name on it, flirted with the mob, put on a couple WrestleManias, built some fucking casinos, and
created America.
Himself and his family over, created a pageant for women to go out in their fucking bikini. Like, that's our American motherfucker right there. That's
he didn't change.
Exactly. Like, we get it. He's a Zionist scumbag billionaire who's going to backstab the country in his own way if he wants to do whatever the fuck. But before that, like, that was our American motherfucking scumbag. That's a trustworthy, untrustworthy fuck. This dude.
What is his game?
He's a character. He's a caricature. He's a caricature of a character
out of The Simpsons.
Like, yeah, he's
Apu.
He's Apu Burns. He's Apu Burns. He really is.
He's Apu Burns.
He's Apu Burns, the mayor.
God.
Yeah.
Oh,
that really nailed it right there, man. Fucking
Apu.
give one else.
I get one every once in a while.
Now, just listen to him.
I'll tell you, I'm not a politician, Brett. You're right about that. I'm an entrepreneur. My parents came to this country with no money 40 years ago.
That's white Apu.
That's white Apu.
And then it's back full circle. So before I interrupted myself with myself playing the clip of the politicians interrupting each other, there's a line.
Which is what they do.
Yeah, that is their job. The I'm not a politician, I'm a billionaire entrepreneur or whatever. Like I said before, it works for like a very specific kind of dude, and you have to fit a lot. You have to click a lot. We're in blue boxes. He doesn't for a number of reasons.
That's what Trump was. He wasn't a politician. He was an entrepreneur.
Yeah, but he was
He was a politician entrepreneur.
Yeah, it's like, we know you're not gonna save us, except for the people who really thought he was gonna save us.
Thought he was gonna, build the wall and everybody's gonna. Yeah, no, it didn't happen, but
Good TV though.